from the Ticats Audio Network. This is Ticats Today with Louie Butko.
Yes, it is Ticats Day for a Wednesday, September the 14th, 2022. Thanks for checking us out on the Ticats Audio Network. Louie Butko here, bringing you everything you need to know from practice today on Ticats Today. That's what we do here on this show for you. We'll run down the injury report. We'll hear from Coach O. We'll hear from Mason Bennett, D lineman, and we'll hear from Tunde Adeleke as well. So all of that coming up here on Ticats Today from Tim Hortons Field. Day 2 of practice for the Ticats ahead of Saturday's game, 4 o'clock, South Plaza Saturday. Lots of stuff going on at the South Plaza ahead of the game, including an autograph signing with our alumnus of distinction. Yeah, we're very excited to be welcoming back Mike Filer to Tim Hortons Field. He will be our alumnus of distinction this weekend, and he'll be signing autographs as part of the South Plaza Saturday celebration that's going on. And of course, if you don't have your tickets yet, well, you can go get them. Ticats.ca/tickets is where you can find them. Let's take a look at this Ticats injury report as the Ticats tough test this weekend coming off the bye week. As of yesterday, Anthony Johnson still has not practiced, dealing with a wrist injury. Chris Van Zyl was limited yesterday after being full participant on Monday. Ronheen Bingham was a full participant both days so far. Julian Houser has been limited so far. Cariel Brooks did not practice yesterday, did not practice Monday. It looked like he was back out there, but the most updated injury report should be out very shortly, so CFL.ca is where you can find that. Malik Carney was limited, and Tyler Tanowski was a full participant yesterday. And again, the full Ticats injury report available at Ticats.ca or CFL.ca. Coach was asked about Dane. He was asked about Tyler Tanowski. We had a chance to catch up with him after practice today, and here's what he had to say.
Yeah, we just go to work. They're out there working hard and having fun, and that's part of it. We totally know that, what's fun is winning, but winning is a byproduct of what you do daily, and so that's what we're focused on. So you've been at practice all year, and you can tell, and it's been very rare where we didn't have great energy. And, coming off a bye, day 0, you can expect energy like that, but it seems to have carried through. Yeah, it's a choice. That's it. It's what our foundation is built on, so it's really not hard. I mean, you can walk through here and, ask whoever comes up after me, and that's just what we choose to do. I think that's a choice. Yeah, I think rest in general is good for any player, at the quarterback position, what he's battled through. I think it is beneficial, but there's always going to be a time to go back to work. So, he would be the better one to ask. But like the way he's looked this week. He might be with the A group.
He might be with the A group.
Yeah, we're tinkering with some lineup things. Don is a little nicked. He's pushed through, but he'd be healthy enough to go. So we'll also Don would be, but we'll see what happens. So Wes is out there taking reps, as you saw with the A group.
And left tackle.
Yeah, we're working through that. We're tinkering with the lineups a little bit. And so we'll see what we look like. Well, Tyler's a competitor. He's tough. And so, he was anxious to get back out there. It's been hard for him to watch on the side. And he's been a vital part of our football team, not just as a receiver where he was really coming to his own and somebody that we were slowly beginning to rely on a little bit, but also on special teams where he kind of earned his way on the roster. He's just valuable. He can hold. He can be a gunner. He does some rare things for receivers. He can hold up and play on punt return. So it's just good to have him back out there. He's good energy. And, obviously, like I said, he's very competitive.
And that is the head coach and president of football operations, Orlondo Steinauer, as we caught up with him after practice today. Also had a chance to catch up with Mason Bennett, who has been a great part of the Ticats defense this season. Obviously, Jagarrett Davis, some big shoes to fill on that DN spot, but he's been doing it quite admirably, and had a chance to catch up with him after practice. Here's what Mason had to say about his season so far.
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, we all love the game. We're all here for a reason. Coach really preached early in the week that we're going to practice like either for 12-1 or 3-9 or 0 whatever, right? So every day we wake up, get to work, and just have fun with it. I mean, it's wild. I remember I had to have been in junior high and hearing Taylor Ron's name and high school, Micah Johnson, and then next thing I know, I'm playing beside them and getting sacks with them and celebrating with them. It's crazy. I try to pick their brains every day and learn as much as I can. Hopefully pass it down to a younger guy one day. But it's been great. They're great leaders on and off the field, and it's been a lot of fun. Not really. It's football in the day. We got a big season ahead. We got a big 6-game stretch coming up, and you can't really focus so much on who you're playing or just really the specifics of it. You just got to get down and get dirty. So it's gonna be a great game Saturday though. I think my off the field habits have been a big change of mine. Staying a little later, coming in a little early, just doing as much as I can. Football isn't gonna last forever, so taking the full opportunity that I have right now to make my plays is what I'm trying to do. It doesn't matter who's back there. We're there to stop the run, get sacks, create turnovers, and win the game. So whoever they have back there, we're just gonna play Ticat D. Yeah, we come out here every day to work our butts off. We really preach finishing strong, starting strong. Like you mentioned, it hasn't really worked so much in the past, but we're going to keep working forward, and hopefully this Saturday we can really turn it up.
And that is Mason Bennett as we caught up with him after practice. One more piece of audio to get to from after practice. And a reminder, full scrums available, ticats.ca. But we also had a chance to catch up with Tunde Adeleke today. And here's what he had to say as we caught up with him after today's practice.
One thing is just the guys in the room are like practically a family, right? So we're going through a rough patch right now, a really pretty bad patch, but it's something we think we can still overcome. And if there was a year to be 3-8, like this is the year, because we're still possibly 2 games away from being second, So we just know all you have to do is get in the playoffs and give yourself the opportunity to win. I think that's one thing I can't really say to prove. It's one of those things, if you walk in the locker room or seen us on the field, like you'll see us fighting and everything like that, and 2 minutes later we're hugging because we're family at the end of the day, So no matter what's said, we know like this guy's just trying to make us better, and you can see that from Coach O and how he speaks to us and how he speaks of us, So that's one thing I can't really prove, but I know it, and every guy on the team knows it, and if every guy's saying the same thing, it's probably somewhat true. I think we all know who Zach is. He's a solid quarterback. He's one of the best in the league. And I think what's best about him is he's good at extending plays and finding open guys. But I think we have some of the best DBs and one of the best defenses in the league. So we've also played him in enough big games to understand who he is and who the team is. So we just got to come out and play our football. Yeah, we've got to the point where we've made it so it's playoffs now for us. So it's winner get out kind of situation. So there's no my bads, there's no next time, we have to put everything on the field right now. So yeah, it's rough that we put ourselves in this situation, but we all love to play football and we're trying to play football for as long as possible. So adding 3 extra games to the season would be something we'd all love to do.
And that is Tunde Adeleke as we caught up with him after practice today. All right, for more on Saturday's game, I am very pleased to be joined by Ticats Audio Network analyst. He is the color analyst on the game broadcast. He's also the host of the Coach O Show with Luke Tasker. Spoiler alert, it's Luke Tasker. You can also catch him every game day eve on Ticats This Week alongside RJ Broadhead. And Luke, thanks for doing this. Really do appreciate it. I do want to start with a former teammate of yours, that being Zach Caleros, who looks like he is probably on his way to another MOP campaign. He was the top performer again this past week. It's going to be a tough task for the Ticats. How do they try to slow down number 5 in the blue and gold?
Boy, it's hard to do. I just think he's got an unbelievable ability to perform in the fourth quarter, no matter what's happened throughout the rest of the game. Unbelievable ability to continue to make plays happen after they've seemingly fallen apart. He's a great guy, and obviously a friend of mine, but just a great player. People forget too, he's got a Grey Cup ring from early on, yep. Back up in Toronto. So he's got 3 rings. He's certainly in the sort of kingpin of this early Winnipeg people are starting to call dynasty. So just a great player. I'm just happy for, for him personally. I don't know if it's a Hall of Fame conversation yet, but he's certainly the kind of guy who could do it.
How have you seen him develop from when you played with him here and when he left in 2017? I mean, 2017, 2018, 2019. I mean, there were questions about his health, and there was a question: is he one hit away from never playing again? How have you seen him overcome those and become the quarterback he is now?
I would think I can almost hear Zach say, like, if you asked him a question about this, it's not like, I don't know if he'd be the guy to say, I just, was so determined and I just did it and I just wanted to fight through the adversity. Like, Zach's a super realist. He'd have been like, well, maybe I was one hit away. Who knows? Like, maybe I at a time could have been done with my career, but then I did get healthy and I did get signed by a team and now we're doing good. So, like, he just, he just kind of stayed with it. And it's amazing that he did. There certainly was a few times and a few hits, both with the Ticats and after, where it was like, man, you just hope that his health gets put first by in his own mind and by teams. But then sure enough, he's come back to play the way he has in the last 2 seasons. And it's just a great thing to watch.
I asked Dane about this yesterday. I asked Dylan about this yesterday. Is this the perfect team for the Ticats to face this week? If they want to send a message in this final third of the season, isn't this the team you want to play, the 12-1 Winnipeg Blue Bombers, or am I overstating that? Should they want to play maybe the Edmonton Elks this week?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, what would be really bad right now is to go lose a game to, say, Ottawa. And not to say that they're going to lose this game to Winnipeg, but Winnipeg is doing really well. If you can have some offensive production, if you can get a win against them, boy, that is really going to change your trajectory into this last third of the season. But what would be a real sort of season killer to me is if they went and lost to a very bad team. I think that they got to go out there, show some really strong offensive production. And in doing so, even in the event that they fall short of a win, I think, if they can take a step in the right direction after what was a really, really poor Labor Day game, I think that they give themselves a chance to stay in it. But I guess my simple answer to your question, Louie, is it's probably a good thing. I think this is a great time to play Winnipeg, sort of a why not scenario, and just kind of go out there and give it your best against the best.
The Coach O Show with Luke Tasker, a brand new episode dropped this week. I talk to Coach every day. I ask him questions every day. And I find sometimes at 3 and 9, it's hard to phrase questions in a certain way to get an answer out of him. Cause Coach, how he talks, especially to the media. What do you take away from what he's going through right now? This is probably the most difficult stretch he's gone through as a coach, as the head coach, 3 and 9. He had so much success in his inaugural season at 15 and 3. What do you take away? You know him well. What do you take away from Coach right now?
He's going to boil each day of his prep, down to the details. And at 3 and 9, you need to do that. You got to stay focused on the details, because if you get lost in sort of the 30,000 foot view of, what's going on in the season and what everybody around the Ticats says, what the voices, nationwide, say about the CFL and the Ticats place within the league right now. You get lost in there, and that's not where the people and the person who is in charge of this has to stay. So Coach boils it down to the details of doing things the right way in each meeting and with each team. I do think that you have to battle through the negativity of your own mindset and the what could have been. What could have been if they started off this season with a few more wins, and would this have been different? And those questions they just don't matter anymore at this point. And so you have to, and I think Coach is an expert at this, and we can't forget, Coach O is a Hall of Fame player in this league. That's when he was growing up, he was growing up to be a football player. right? And that aspect of him, I think, is what makes him and I'm talking about Coach O specifically, not all coaches. Coach O, his not just having been a player, but having been a Hall of Fame player, is what makes him excel as a coach. And that mindset is from being a player, boiling it down to the details and forcing your attitude and your positivity onto a situation. And that's what I see in him right now. And of course it's hard to do, and wins, are the best medicine for any ailment in football.
We've talked to you about the 2017 season, the 0-8 start, and we've compared that team to this team. But as a player, when you're going through stretches like this, how do you stay out of your own head? How do you, like you say, that 30,000 foot view? How do you just focus on one practice at a time, one play at a time? Like how do you get out of your own head when things aren't going the way you want them to?
Yeah. For me, and I wonder if people don't love this or think that this is not the case, but for me, it was really sincerely having fun with the game again. I actually specifically remember the games after we were out of the playoffs in 2017, having fun playing those games and really making catches. And because that's all that it's for. It's the only gain you could get is by playing good just because it's fun. The Ticats aren't in that situation yet, but you do have to avoid the tendency, I think, for a lot of athletes and for a lot of people in the world who would maybe fall into the camp of, as opposed to lazy workaholics, like that type of person might fall into the trap of grinding, and sort of just working just because you think it's the right thing to do, and sort of, work harder, not smarter type of thing. I think that's a dangerous place to be in for a football player. I really think that you got to have fun. You've got to boil it down to the details. Like I said, same as Coach O getting lost in that 30,000 foot view. You can't focus each day as you go in there on 9-3 on, how's Toronto doing? Is the crossover going to happen? You can't focus on all those things each day. You have to go out on the field and catch some trick passes, behind your head, and get some extra jugs in, do your Dane Evans and I in 2018, 2019, we would stay on the field after practice and drop kick through the goalpost just because it's fun and just because we could do it and we thought we were cool. So, that helps me, that kind of stuff is like, just those, the details and enjoying football for what it is.
So to that point, I was going to ask what your advice to Dane would be going back out there. It's trending like he's going to get the start. We don't know for sure. We'll likely obviously know in the next few days, but to that point, just have fun for Dane. I'm sure that would be a piece of advice you'd pass along. But what else would you tell him? He's a leader on this team. You've been a leader on this team. What would you tell Dane going back out there? Again, you can't get all those wins back at once, but what would your advice be to him?
It's funny now that with you and I sitting here talking, I should send Dane a note to make sure he gets some drop kicks in after practice. It was honestly, I remember it very fondly. Like, it was just an awesome part. We would just stand out there and drop kick see who could go, a longer drop kick. Dane is, everybody who listens to the Ticats Audio Network has an understanding of Dane's, at least a surface level understanding of his childhood, his upbringing, kind of the way he is, football coach, grew up with the game, very similar to how I did. I mean, I grew up with football sort of all over me, and I loved it. And when I think guys like Dane and I let the game get too big, let failures or successes define us, that's not when I would be playing at my best. That's not when Dane's going to play at his best. He's got to go out there with the excitement to make the big play, as opposed to the worry of making a mistake. And this is nothing new to a guy like Dane. He knows that, he knows what it does to a professional athlete to worry about mistakes, at the start line. I'm just excited to see Dane get back to that place of being a playmaker and loving it, and really, really enjoying the process of going through a football game and battling out for a win. And I'm sure that he'll be able to do that.
Is there something you think Dane could could learn from Zach, or is there something he could emulate that Zach does? And they're each person, but obviously, I don't want to say similar career paths, but having success early on in your career and then not having it. Do you think there's something that Dane could look over the other sideline and think, okay, if he can do this, I can do this?
Yeah. I do think, to the point that we just mentioned, and it's really, this is sort of, it's not just for Dane, it's kind of what everybody could learn from good players, but, Dane included as well as me, and Zach, I truly don't believe that Zach carries the game too heavy. And maybe I'm putting words in his mouth, in place for him, but I just don't get a sense that Zach lets himself be defined by the game. I think that he loves winning. And I think that, as a game progresses, mistakes or no mistakes, he finds himself in a position to make plays at the end of the game, and that's sort of, in my mind, that's kind of where the best guys always are mentally, where they just kind of they certainly don't let their mistakes or errors define them. And in doing so, when it's all said and done after a game, they're not carrying that luggage anymore, and they're just ready to make the play when it comes to them. I think Zach's great at that.
Luke, I appreciate your insights as always. Great episode again with Coach O. I know, like I said, it's tough for me every day coming up with questions, so I appreciate you getting some stuff out of him on the Coach O show, and looking forward to seeing you here on Saturday.
Yeah, thanks, Louie. Good stuff. I'm excited.
And my thanks to Luke Tasker for joining me. And just a reminder, you can catch a brand new episode of the Coach O Show with Luke Tasker, available now on the Ticats Audio Network. Ticats fans, it's time to ride on our strength. From now until October 13th, purchase 4 eligible Hercules passenger or light truck tires to receive a $100 Ticats rewards card and be entered to win our road trip sweepstakes. Available at participating Active Green and Ross, Ontario locations, or visit HerculesTires.com/AGR rewards. That'll do it for us today. We are back tomorrow from day 3 of practice from Tim Hortons Field. Same time, same place, right here on the Ticats Audio Network. Thanks for checking us out. I'm Louie Butko, hoping you have a great day.
Ticats Today can be heard every weekday, and we would like to hear from you. Email us at gameday@ticats.ca. Have a question or an opinion? We want to hear it. That's gameday@ticats.ca. Subscribe to the Ticats Audio Network on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts.